Okay, I've got Colette here with me, and Colette's recently finished the Exhausted to Energize method. Welcome, Colette.
Hi, Hannah.
I'd love for you to tell us just a little bit about yourself, maybe where you live, about your family, anything about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm 50. I was 50 this year. We live on the Isle of Wight, and I'm married, and I've got two teenage sons. Matthew is 18, and Dermot is 14. We run our own business, so I sort of juggle between running that and running the home. Busy most days, but also enjoy painting. Painting's my hobby, which I got into in the last couple of years. And then just well-being, taking care of myself.
Yeah, great. And so tell us what was going on with your health before we started working together? What was your challenge?
Before we started working together, I was having terrible periods, really heavy, and also suffering sweats the week before,
Hmm.
um, cramping, low energy. The low energy actually would sort of run throughout the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
And sorry, you can say something else?
I was just going to say I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I'm sure I did have that list.
I've got some notes here, so I'll ask you in a moment. So, you wasn't feeling good most days by the sounds of it. And had you tried anything to kind of overcome these heavy periods or your low energy?
Yep, for years I've been trying alternative remedies, homeopath, and also acupuncture.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love both of those. How did they work for you?
Yeah, really good, really well. But during lockdown, it was obviously I wasn't having the acupuncture anore.
Yeah.
So I think that made a big difference. That I
Mm.
really missed it.
Oh, okay. So you noticed the difference when you stopped the acupuncture.
Definitely, yes.
How often was you having that before?
Every month, once a month, every
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. And so you couldn't have that. So you was looking for a different alternative, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple of your free talks online, and yeah, it really sort of sparked an interest in me.
Yeah, and is that something that you've sort of always been interested in? Did you want to learn more about nutrition, or was that the first time
Mm.
you considered that?
Yeah, no, not the first time. I've always had an interest, probably going back about 14 years, um, to look at something that was an alternative to regular medicine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then was there any hesitations for you? Things like maybe not believing that it would work for you, feeling that you couldn't do it, like worries of investing in yourself, any hesitations at all?
Not really, not for me. Once I've sort of set my mind on something, I'm quite good at sticking to it and focusing. So for me, probably the only hesitant bit was, actually taking the step to do it, which is
Yeah.
probably, yeah, investing in myself.
Yeah. And then just before I press record, I was just sharing with you that it's been such a pleasure to work with you. And every week that you came on the accountability call, you was filled with some new information about how much better you was feeling. You was always so positive. So tell us a little bit about how you found the course. Like, was it difficult to stick to, and what kind of changes you saw in those 12 weeks?
Yeah, for me, not so difficult to change to. I think all your guidance notes that you send every week, they're so thorough and so informative. And there's always something, even if you might think, oh, that recipe's a bit tricky, or might be a bit difficult. There's always something on there, a couple of choices that are really easy
Yeah.
and manageable. And I think
Hmm.
that makes a big difference when you're busy,
Yeah.
to be able to do something very quickly. Um, the Facebook page, asking the questions online, that's all really great that you come back so quickly then with your replies. And also, I think what is so lovely is all the group members.
Yeah.
Everybody is very supportive of each other. And, you might ask a question, and there's always somebody that comes back quite quickly with, a bit of information for you. So a really
Yeah.
lovely group to be part of, very supportive.
Oh, it's really good to hear. Something I tried really hard to cultivate, that anyone who does the course are basically busy women, usually working, often mums, all looking for the same result, and so you're all going through that same journey together. And I think in that group a lot of them might be slightly ahead, so if you asked a question they can kind of go, oh, I was there 2 weeks ago, and they can kind of share. So that's really good to hear that you felt supported. So tell us some of the changes you felt. Tell us about, you mentioned your periods were heavy. You told me you always had a headache the week before. I remember you saying about very tearful, and like your family would kind of know like where you were in your monthly cycle. So how did that change?
So now they don't know when my cycle is about to happen. That's the biggest difference. So no cramping, no night sweats the week before, no headache. There is no indication to me anymore that my period is coming. So now it's really important for me to actually put it on the diary, because
Yeah.
it catches me out now. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that is amazing. And also my periods were so heavy. Now, not at all, not at all.
Yeah.
So it's been a complete reversal to how they
Mm,
were. Life
mm.
changing, things like that are life changing. I've suffered with that for 35 years. It's
Wow.
a long time, isn't it?
It is. And
Um,
you saw really, really quick results. And I think it's fair to say for some people it can take a little bit longer, but your body actually responded really quickly to the changes.
mhm.
But
Yeah,
giving you all the credit where it's due, you made a lot of changes along the way as well. You were completely committed, and you were making
mhm,
lots of positive changes to your diet and to your lifestyle. So that's why you've seen those great results.
yeah.
Tell us about your energy, because I remember when we first chatted, that was definitely something you were struggling with. So how has that changed?
Yeah, so for me, I've really noticed I would always do big beach walks with our dogs,
Mm,
and but I was always very conscious of how far I was going, to make a note that I needed to have enough energy to get myself home again.
yeah.
That was always a concern, always there at the back of my mind, which when you're doing that every day, that's quite tiresome in itself,
Mhm,
to always
mhm.
have that thought. And now, I think, I'm not sure which week that I noticed that difference in, but we've had this fabulous summer, so I was on the beach, and all of a sudden I could just walk so much further.
Oh, wow.
And then you were catching yourself thinking, no, like I'd want to go even further again, but it's like, no, 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 don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Save that for tomorrow. Now you can do a bit more tomorrow. And then for my birthday, we bought a electric bike. And to be cycling again at
Mm,
age 50, I haven't cycled for years. And it's
wow.
just amazing. And we go for miles and miles and miles on our bikes. That's something I definitely would never have been able to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's really fantastic. Oh, I love that, getting out in nature. And you're very blessed to have such wonderful nature near you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And you shared with me before, just jogged my memory there about the walking, that you used to have this burning like on the back of your leg. So just tell us all, how did you describe that? You said something about a car seat, didn't you?
Yeah, so if you have your heated seats on in the car, you know how it warms right through your thighs. That is something that I used to have, that feeling all the time in my thighs, in the back of my
Hmm.
thighs, and there didn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for it. It wasn't at certain times of the month or anything. It seemed to be
Hmm.
switch itself on and off
Hmm.
regularly, and that has completely stopped, disappeared.
Hmm. Amazing. And yeah, so this is common. So when women first talk to me and they tell me like my energy is really low, there's often all these kind of like seemingly unrelated symptoms that go along with it. So one of the ones also that you mentioned was about your eyes and how tired they used to feel in the evening. And you was telling me that that's changed. So how was they actually feeling before?
Before, oh, they were so sore and so tired, and they actually looked pretty dreadful as well come evening time.
Yeah.
um yeah, and I think one of the big changes for that was the rehydration,
Mm,
because as soon as I was doing what I was meant to do,
yeah.
that pretty much switched overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Once you
that
did
was a
the
big,
routine.
yeah, and a big improvement almost from day one. That was something that improved.
Oh, fantastic. So could you tell us, like, share a couple of things that you think were quite easy to put in place that made a really big difference to your health?
Firstly, the hydration,
Mm,
then your breakfast planning. That was amazing. Those two things, because once I started the breakfast, changed my breakfast routine. Um, or change my breakfast meal. I used to snack. I used to snack mid-morning.
Yeah.
Probably about 11 o'clock, I'd be really hungry. Almost that I'd need my lunch then. But then I'd
Yeah.
eat my lunch again at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'd be having my lunch. And once I started having my chia porridge, I don't snack at all. I don't think about food until
Mhm.
lunchtime.
Mm.
And actually, probably a late lunch is probably about 1 o'clock.
Amazing.
So that was a
Brilliant.
huge improvement.
So you wasn't feeling like hangry, like hungry, angry. You wasn't feeling like you needed a snack or a biscuit to keep you going. You just wasn't really thinking about it until lunchtime comes around.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic. So hydration, breakfast. Let's say one more thing. One
Mhm.
more thing that's like really been quite easy and made a big impact for you.
Supplements.
Yes. Yeah, it can make such
Yeah.
a big difference, can't it? So
Yeah.
getting the right supplements to address any deficiencies that you've got going on in the body. And was
Mhm.
there anything that was like more difficult, more challenging for you that, or, you know, that you didn't enjoy on the course?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, to be quite honest. No,
Amazing.
very positive experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts, like anything that you share with anyone else who's, like you said, you suffered, for example, with your period for 30, 35 years, where you've just got these, I think for a lot of women, they just convince themselves that it's normal to feel tired all the time, or everyone has heavy periods, or everyone has PMT, you know? What would you
Mm.
say to someone else who's really been struggling for a long time and maybe they're thinking, oh, I would like to do something, but, you know, I need to use that money towards my family, or I can't stick to it, or I'm not going to see results?
Yeah, I would say, do you know what? Invest in yourself because everybody benefits from it, not just you.
Mm.
Everybody around you. It has a huge impact on everyone.
Yeah, that's great. Final thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, Colette. It's been such a pleasure
Um,
to work with you. And yeah, we're going to continue that work over in the Holistic Health Circle. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Colette, and see you soon.
Lovely. Thanks ever so much, Hannah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.